This is what I did to get GitHub to work on my Windows machine. I downloaded something off the GitHub website. Let me see if I can show you where that is. Yeah, called GitHub for Windows. So it's at this windows.github.com. So I downloaded that. Before I did that, I actually did the directions that GitHub gave, but I think that this superseded all of that. So GitHub for Windows seems pretty cool. You come in here. I don't even know where the main login page is. Let's see here. This is what I saw after I finally committed something. So switch branches in sync. I don't know what this arrow does. Go back to dashboard. Perfect. So this has a little dashboard. It's all graphical, and you can sort of choose. You can see that I have a local copy of physics problem database, but also if I went to GitHub, you can see. Let me go there. See what it says. Probably it'll just say the exact same thing. I think it's already done. And so I just downloaded it, and I clicked on it, and when I downloaded it, notice that it put it in my documents folder under GitHub. So that's where everything is, and that's how I dealt with it. You can do open this repository, and you can see that I'm in the branch called Andy, because what I did is I made a new branch. I clicked on this, and I just came in here and I made a new branch called Andy. So I'm not dealing with a master branch right now. I'm just dealing with one called Andy. And here are the 14 or 17 things that I did. This is all of the work that I did last night, changing, for example, all of these models and having to make 2 changes to the auth and the database package. Let's see, I had to change this one because I actually named my database something different, and I had to change this one because I don't have an email field in my very simple schema. I had just a field called name, so I had to change the default username field. And then, of course, a lot of the changes was done in this routes thing. To get Apache to work on my machine, however, because it decided to save it in C users Andy documents, the Apache stuff doesn't work because all the Apache stuff is sitting under, if you do the XAMPP business, let me show you where that is. So if you go to the C computer, the C drive, it puts XAMPP on absolutely here, not in any documents folder. And maybe I shouldn't have just done that, but I did this first a couple of days ago. And so, in fact, usually you have to put everything under htdocs to get that to work at all. But I now wanted Apache to pay attention to things that were outside of this htdocs folder. I looked online for lots of ways to do that, and the one that I settled on, which actually became somewhat problematic, but I'll go ahead and tell you what I did, is you edit this httpd.config file. You can see where it is. It's under XAMPP, Apache config. And I changed the directory to be Andy/documents instead of xampp.htdocs. So now anything in Andy documents that's a PHP file will actually render correctly. Then, of course, one of my problems was one of the things that I really wanted to use a lot was PHP MyAdmin, so I had to go back to here, and I just grabbed the entire PHP MyAdmin folder and I copied it into documents, and so you can see that I have an entire copy of PHP MyAdmin, and sure enough then it worked, because then in the browser you can see here my PHP MyAdmin. So look at the address. It's localhost/PHP MyAdmin. Just like all of my Laravel stuff. Oops, I don't want that one. Sorry. I want this one. Localhost, and then GitHub is the name of the folder that's in my documents folder. So it's GitHub, physics problem database. Git, or the Windows Git thing, installed all of this junk for me. And this is where, for example, I had that list problems that can show all the problems in there and the appropriate tags and the appropriate users and all of that stuff. So I was able to branch all of that stuff and push it back out. So that's available now on GitHub. And so this was how I got Git working on my machine. And I didn't have to do any symbolic links. I just made it so that my documents folder, everything under documents, is where the Apache server thinks localhost is. So localhost / and then the whatever file listing underneath the documents folder.